Leaning over you here, cold and catatonic. Catch a brief reflection, what you could and might have been. It's your right and your ability to become my perfect enemy. Wake up and face me. Don't play dead. And maybe one day I will walk away and say, you fucking disappoint me. Maybe you're better off this way. Maybe we're better off this way. Leaning over you here, cold and catatonic. Catch a brief reflection, what you could and might have been. It's your right and your ability to become my perfect enemy. Welcome to another despicable episode of the apocalypse. I hope this broadcast comes out okay. A weird thing happened. It wouldn't start. Anyway, I saw something today that gave me an epiphany and amazed me. It reminded me of when I was a child. And I was watching a movie, and I watched it several times growing up. It was quite an interesting movie, full of excellent actors, called Red Dawn. Not the shitty remake, I've never even saw that one. The one from the 80s. With Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen and I believe C. Thomas Howell, and I can't remember the rest. I saw a man today on camera go through a barricade and deliver supplies in double quick time to a group of protesters who had just been gassed. And it literally felt like I was watching the movie again. A scene, Red Dawn, things like that happened in that movie. In the movie Red Dawn, the Russians and a force from South America, I can't remember where, attacked the United States by surprise. So out in the country, the good old boys, the country folk, the patriots, a bunch of them got away and formed a resistance group where they performed operations of sabotage, operations of delivering supplies, like this man, blowing through barricades, stuff like that. Literally! Son! In that movie, the patriots, the country folk, the rubes, were against the Russians, our mortal enemy, since 1945. As you would expect. For they never fail to get on 4chan, YouTube or whatever, and yell about if the government ever comes for me or my guns, you know what I'll do. We hear this hour after hour, minute after minute, for the entirety of my bloody life, even before the internet was a thing, for that is how old I am. In the movie, like good American patriots, they were against the invading force, the Russians, our mortal enemy. In reality, in our reality, unfortunately, the rubes and the patriots, the Second Amendment folk, who alleged to care about America, are on the side of the Russians and the Reich. That is another point that needs to be made here. In the movie Red Dawn in the 80s, our own government was on our side. They were fighting the war, as well as the Wolverines. But in our reality, we are under a Reich full of goddamn traitors, loyal to Vlad Putin, in league with, utterly, rolled out the red carpet on American soil, son. That's what kind of bitch your orange bitch is. How much of a goddamn traitor. So in our story, the patriots, the rubes, are the enemy. They are traitors. Our government, replete with traitors, a complete Nazi Reich in league with Russia, literally. Donny Krasnov is a Russian asset. They even had a name for their asset as they laughed behind his fat orange back. As they laughed at you, the fucking rube who handed it over. The patriot who is in league with our enemies that would see us broken, starving, dying, which we are now, thanks to you, cunts. Back to the story. In the movie, the Rube and the Patriot were the literal Wolverines fighting against our enemy, the Russians. Our government was on our side fighting the war against the Russians. Blockades, men on our streets with machine guns. In the movie, they were Russians. They were people from Cuba or South America. In our story, they come from the traitor states. And they are traitors who wear masks and assail their fellow citizens. kidnap them, murder them, spray them, tear gas them, pepper spray them, beat them, destroy their property, steal their property. A literal assault from your fellow citizen, unlike the movie. And once more, I must say, the patriots are not fighting Russia this time. They are traitors who have joined with our enemies to help subjugate us and ruin our country. Much more dire than some external outside force. In reality, in the 80s and now, the Russians have nowhere near the capability to assault the United States. That's why it is so absurd. What is not absurd is them buying one political party over decades. I watched it take place, and installing their Russian asset as president. And a propaganda campaign that lasted 20 years on social media. And the rubes ate it up to the point they put on t-shirts that said, "I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat." That means you'd rather be a traitor. And you are. Don't worry. You bloody are. And in this story, again, our government is against us. Much more dire. For they use the law as a shield. And the king says what's legal. What I am trying to say, and I did not intend to say all that, but I am struck still by the first WolVerine. What I am trying to say is, do you realize how fucked you are? Worse than the movie. For that was an external enemy that everyone could unite against. We are amidst demons and traitors that put masks on and join Russia and the Reich hand in hand to subjugate anyone that would attempt to stop it. That man that delivered gas masks and other supplies busted through a barricade in his F-250, 350, whatever it was. You are the first WolVerine. It has already begun. I've seen the footage. Retroactively, I thought of Miss Good and Mr. Pretty. They are WolVerines as well. They are the first. They resisted, and they were executed. And this man who busted through a barricade and delivered those supplies, do you understand, son? The audience, you. Do you understand? You've been in the movie Red Dawn for 20 bloody years. Not with bullets and troops, with propaganda and traitors. Now we're at the point in the movie where men have to bust through barricades to deliver supplies to the troops. Can you bloody believe it? You are in the movie right now. The subjugation force of traitors is on your streets, assailing your cities. To the point, again, a man had to bust through a barricade, deliver supplies to the troops who are in the face of the troops of the Reich and Russia in mosques. We are in the movie right now, simply a different version of it. And the movement has already begun. That's what I realized today. That man that delivered those supplies, he is the first Wolverine. And as I said before, Miss Good and Mr. Pretty are also Wolverines. All of you out there taking the literal physical assault, some of you kidnapped, sometimes they show up at your house because they got your address because you're a legal observer or you were at a protest and they filmed you. You people that continue to fight for this country right out on the streets. You are the Wolverines. I am so bloody impressed with all of you. And I bet the man is too. Well, bloody done. Let's begin. I didn't mean to say any of that shit. Because I have a lot of stuff here. And I'm sorry if the signal's horrible. I don't know. It wouldn't even start when I hit the go live button, and I don't know how good everything's sound quality and all that. I apologize, and it's gonna piss me off if I stay on here for 3 fucking hours and every word's fucking skipped and fucked up. Cause Verizon blows. Cherry cock. Cunts. Anyway, I woke up to this. ICE agents forced past a mother into her home in Minneapolis, terrifying 6 children inside. When she said there's no warrant, agents respond. This is why I'm reading it to you. We don't need warrants anymore. That's the end of your country. When people say that, you understand that, right? When people can break in your home without a warrant, you're over. We're over. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And again, these cunts are told to do this. The memo specifically dealt with this. You can go in houses without warrants. Don't let anyone see the memo. Don't copy it. Don't take any notes. Look at it. Hand it back. I already presented it to you. I saw the film of this, and yes, there was a bunch of terrified, very small children crying on a couch as the masked cunts with machine guns broke into the place. We don't need warrants anymore. A baby's scratch is then used as a pretext for a so-called wellness check. The wellness check thing has been used for months. I talked about it before. And they're hiring ex-drug addicts and whoever will take the goddamn job. I've seen the people that go do these wellness checks for fucking ice, because that's what they're really doing. I've seen the videos. I've seen the people. Obvious ex-drug addicts. They would take anyone. They're not the same people in the mass rounding people up. These are like bait people that get you to open the door under the guise of a wellness check. I saw about 4 of them in a video. This is months ago, and I talked about it with you people. And they're, meandering around a property, and the person opens the door like, well, what are you people? Oh, we're wellness check people. This is one of the lies they've been using to get in people's houses and to get near children. Those women and children down in Texas not being deported, yelling, let us out. The reason they keep those women there is because if you have tenants in a for-profit prison, if the cells are full, you get more money. You charge the government. Donnie's the government. So every private prison that does his bidding, tortures, enslaves, keeps the people there forever. Automatic payment. They're sending the bill to the Antichrist. That's the one bill he'll pay. Of course, with, son, your goddamn money. Every motherfucking time. So they get to charge the government, and they use those people for labor, and the food is rancid. The reason why the food's rancid, they want you in the commissary buying their scuzzy shit. You get paid $1 a day. A loaf of bread is $3. You work 3 days, you get a loaf of bread. Or you get the rancid shit they're giving you. I'm not kidding. Lawyers have testified to this. Anyone in favor? Fuck you, 1. 2, your name is on, and you will burn for it, lest you turn away, son, start preaching a different gospel. Sincerely. Your name is on the enslavement of women and children. The caging to the point they're saying, let us out. No, this same intent was not under Biden, under Obama. This is new, how the facilities are used. The whole process. This is new, the intent. And everybody knows it. Don't ever say it was the same. And eventually, if it hasn't begun already, we're going to learn that some of us the hard way. They're exterminating people. It's either already gone there or it will. They have more people in custody than ever before. Housed. Which means rent is being paid by you, dumbass, when they send a bill to Donnie. It's a big goddamn racket. A what class? Human trafficking racket. And let's not pretend some of them don't end up in certain trades. These are scumbags. Paxton, Abbott, Donnie, others. These for-profit private prison people, I bet my life they got a pipeline directly into some other types of human trafficking activities. And they have a what class? Endless supply of women and children. I keep hearing every day about 1,200 names that flat out disappeared from Alligator Alcatraz. No one knows where the fuck they are. That's just the one we know about. Do you understand the evil you're dealing with now? You think all these people with this endless supply of women and children that they keep indefinitely, you think it ain't going there? With Paxton, with Abbott, with Donnie, with others. That's the level of evil we're dealing with. Understand what your name's on, son, because you will pay for it. It's on your bill. Understand what your name's on before it's too late. You ain't got much time left. This isn't an algorithm. This isn't a media push. This is you showing up and sending a message to big tech. We want something different. 3 countries, organic growth, real change. Thank you for believing in an alternative. This is yours. People fleeing TikTok. I want to show you how far this app has gone because of TikTok. #1 in UK App Store. This was yesterday, the day before. Might have been yesterday. #4 in the US App Store. #3, US App Store. #12, Australian App Store. That's how much people hate TikTok now. Those are some solid fucking numbers right there. And I must say, this website, the pictures on it are gorgeous. Even a dumb picture of me in the car. I did a little singing video, or I did a little speech today. I did a bunch of shit over there. Even a screenshot of the video I did. I just look at the picture. I posted it here too. I'm like, picture's gorgeous. What did this person do that programmed this fucking website? Now, in YouTube's defense, YouTube is a much more complex web. I mean, my God, it's infinitely more complex. What it can do and what's going on. This is the beginnings, like, opening phases. But layout, I don't know what the programmers did or what they did to make these pictures look the way they do of everything. They're gorgeous. The sound quality. I did a singing video today without a dampener. And a dampener, what I mean by that is this car is mostly leather and plastic. So it doesn't have a soft sound. So it gets tinny. And although YouTube has very good sound, has the best in my opinion, not anymore, but it did, you still need a little dampener to soften the sound so it doesn't sound tinny and shitty because I'm in a car with a plastic dashboard, windshield. And again, it's mostly leather. There's a little cloth intertwined with the leather in certain places. So this isn't a cushy, soft-sounding environment. So I use a dampener to soften the sound so it's not so tinny. There, I did singing videos today closer to the camera too. The sound is amazing. So I don't know what they did with the sound either. Again, it's a fledgling website. There's not really any big names there, but the quality of the site, the way it looks, whatever they did to make the pictures look like that, whatever they do with the sound. When I'm recording on a phone in a car, that makes even good quality sound on the YouTube video sound tinny, and it don't even sound tinny. I don't know, whoever's doing the keyboard shit, making that fucking website, they doing a good fucking job. It's very easy to use too. It's not all weird like fucking Twitter. If you just want to make a video real quick, it's so simple. I'm impressed, son. That's all I gotta say. No one's watching my shit because I ain't nobody there and no one's there. And the whole website's basically Israel and Palestine stuff. Whatever. I just like using the site. It's fun. And again, the quality of what comes out, because I'm doing some hardcore shit. And it takes work to get to that point to even be able to do it. So when I recorded it, I want it to fucking sound good and look good. That's why I despise TikTok. It's a shitty website. Even forget the Chinese censorship, the American censorship. It was garbage when the Chinese had it. It's garbage now that the US has it. Tinny, shitty, loud, obnoxious, horrible layout in the videos, that shitty flashing papers behind people and they're pointing, and the people keep making videos and they just sit there like this and they just put their face and they make faces like, I don't want to watch that. You ain't that cute. The website blows. I never wanted to be on it. The sound is shit, video quality is shit, the whole concept with the shitty papers and things behind people, that's all blurry and fucking flashing and they're fucking some advice for people. Look, this may sound bad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And I'm not saying I'm an Adonis here. That's not what I'm fucking saying. I'm trying to give people some advice. Don't take it personal. Most people are not attractive. I don't know if you agree with that. That's my assessment of the world. And I see way too many people that are, I don't know, for me, I'm not trying to insult. I'm sorry, it's just an instinctive thing with me. I'm not trying to be an asshole. There's a lot of people that are not that attractive. And they obviously don't understand jack shit about camera angle, lighting, and distance from the camera. Because when they shoot videos, they're up here. They're pointing, yo, Claire, yo, fam. Back off that shit, especially if you're not attractive or you got angles. Back off a little. You don't need to be right here when you're filming. And again, I didn't mean to go in any of this shit. I'm sorry, my apology. Because even if you're not attractive, if you back away a little bit, you don't even know the difference it makes. And you may want to find, your best angle. It's just some advice. Anyway, this website, I'm fucking impressed. The two most important things: the way the videos and pictures look and the sound quality. They fucking nailed it. And it's easy to use. And it looks like they give you 20 minutes to record. So you could post up to a 20-minute video. As far as I know, again, I don't know everything about the place. That's interesting. Most websites, you don't understand, son, they don't want everybody in this game. That's why you got to have a certain amount of subscribers and jump through some hoops before you can live stream, upload videos of a certain length, all that shit. On every website, they have different rules like that. Because they don't want everybody jumping in the game. And, you know, not everyone can come on a website and get 10,000 views or a certain number of subscribers. Do you know how many people you're competing with? It was a total fluke when I did it. I wasn't I didn't think that would happen. Overnight, 10,000 people wanted to watch me. It was crazy, man. So this website, you know, you can do a 20-minute video, 5, 10, whatever you want to do. It's 2 seconds to get to the point you're recording, unlike so many other websites. Uploads quickly. Looks great, sounds great. I don't know what more you could ask for. I'm really impressed. YouTube's still my favorite, of course. Always was. But that site has real fucking potential, and whoever's stroking the keys and whoever made the sound quality decision, the way the vids and pics look, my God. I'm just so impressed. That's why I mentioned it 9 times. I got to take a break already. How long have I been talking? 37 minutes, does it say that? Because I didn't mean to do all that. And the fucking thing fucked my song up in the beginning. Because I was wondering why the fucking live stream wasn't starting like it was supposed to. So it made me lose focus, I'm sorry. That's entertainment for me after the video. I watch what I sing in the beginning. That's more for me than even you people. It's something for me to watch. And judge over and over again. Oh, I missed that note. Oh, that was too loud, too hard. You know. All right. Let me drink some water. All right, back to this bullshit because I got about 90 more pictures to go through. How'd I get to this asshole? Shit, I hit something and I lost my place. Great. All right, here we go. This guy posted this picture and then he wrote a caption for it. Mass cunt Gestapo with machine guns and full tactical gear, like they're assaulting fucking Afghanistan or something. Assaulting our cities and killing people. Literally. We watched it on TV. And kidnapping people and intimidating people. No, they're not Navy SEALs. They're not Delta Force. They're not going to fight terrorists or foreign armies or organized crime or violent criminals. They have all that firepower to beat up grannies from Honduras, go up against 5-year-olds, and shoot Americans in the back. That's literal. That's not exaggeration. That's not drama in its fucking slightest. Son. That's our country now. That's what's going on, man. That's why I despise you. In no world is this normal. In no world is this okay. And at least the fucking original Nazis, at least they were brave enough not to wear masks when they went around killing people. These cunts ain't even brave enough to do that. You know why? Because they goddamn traitors, that's why. And they know it, and we know it. And if that mask ever slips off, son, we get your name the next day. And your life is over. You will be a pariah no matter where you go. Getting a lot of names already. I know you guys love making lists. I see you talking about it on video. There are other lists being made, son. And the worst one of all, oh my God, son. The man's list. You on that list. I would not want to be you. Whew. I know what's going to happen to you. Holy fuck, what's going to happen to you. So beat up all the grandmas you can now. Cunt, and I wish I could call you what I want to call you, son. Cause the lake awaits. And shoot Americans in the back. Literally. Proven by medical reports. Proven by a doctor who they wouldn't let administer help. God forbid. They were too busy counting bullet holes. Because that's fun for them. I hope they remember that in the lake when they're begging God to let them out and asking why. Oh, not only shoot Americans in the back, in the face too. I thought about that today earlier, right before I came on. That little Spanish girl that was running away that they shot and damaged her hand permanently for life. That's another one. They shot her while she was running away. Therefore, they shot her in the back. Just like they did to this guy, Mr. Preddy. I mean, these are the ultimate cowards. And just this man, just the way he worded it, what he said, yes. They wear all that gear. They have the machine guns. They have the masks. They're big, tough guys. Who they taking on? Children, grandmas, farm workers, American citizens. Nobody willing to put up a fight. I just watched a video today, son. It was dark. They were on a man's property. He came out with the rifle. He said, get the fuck off my property. You're infringing my Fourth Amendment, and I got my second. And everything they said to him, all he kept, get the fuck off my property. You know what they did? Got the fuck off his property. They tried to intimidate him, not with a rifle pointed at him. The Black Panthers, I seen videos of them. They all got the big guns. ICE don't even walk in a direction, son. Wolverines. Like I said, more people need to start arraying themselves. Because they don't want to fight, son. They'll leave you alone. Don't worry. Unless you're helping a woman they just assaulted and you're not thinking about your weapon. Then they'll take your weapon and execute you. But if you got the weapon ready, like the Black Panthers, they hold it like this. They don't need to draw it. That's why the Gestapo don't even look at those motherfuckers. Mr. Preddy, again, was helping a woman, and he's worried about helping her and not pulling his weapon. If he just would have been standing there with the weapon in his hand, I don't think they would have done jack shit. But he wanted to help a woman. I commend him for that. I'm just making a point. So this man makes an excellent point. They don't want to take on no Trendy or no one like that. No gangbangers, no criminals. No, they taking on grandmas, little kids, women. 9 guys take on 1 guy, take his gun and execute him. Shit like that's what they looking for. Shooting lesbians in the face. That's what they looking for. They looking for armed motherfuckers. Hence the Black Panthers. These are some doctors at a hospital. Let's see what they have to say about the Gestapo. This is Lisa Matson, the current president of the Medical Association, and she's explaining what ICE has been doing when they show up at local hospitals. They won't leave the room while patients are getting bathed, and they're getting in the way of medical staff, obstructing patient care, or while patients are getting bed baths. I hate you. And you know who I'm talking to. EU and India clinch mother of all deals in rebuff to Trump. I told you months ago when Donnie was playing the tariff game right from the beginning, I talked about a vulnerable, isolated America, ripe for attack. I talked about all of our allies trading around us. That's what this is. And Donnie don't give a fuck. He's just spending your tax money. Once the repercussions are felt, once Canada is trading around us, all of the EU, south of the border, it's going to hurt us economically. It's going to hurt many of you. That's when Donnie will care and start threatening war or something. He already threatened Carney in Canada if you make a deal with China. Like I said back months ago, like I'm saying now. They're all going to trade around us. We're being isolated. We are going to be very weak and vulnerable. And I have a feeling when that mark is introduced, offered, I have a feeling they're going to make sure as many of us are in a very desperate situation as possible. That could be done with the dollar becoming worthless, because that's what they want. You understand that, right? Donnie wants to replace that with his money. What else? And you know what his money looks like, and you know what it is. So, if you wake up in a month, a year, we all wake up, the dollar is now worthless. All that money you got in the bank, all whatever, worthless. Loaf of bread costs $500. Here's Donnie coin. We'll start you off with 20,000. Just got to make this pledge. Take this mark. Pledge your allegiance to Satan. However they word that. And they will, don't worry. And renounce that other person. I have a feeling they're going to make sure most of us are in a very desperate situation. To make it extra tempting. Be prepared for that. And our allies are trading around us. We're watching it play out. Carney made a deal with China. EU made a deal with India. That will impact us. I hope you understand that. In major ways. Because the people that Donnie has aligned with, I've already explained to you which countries they are. Russia is one of them. They are not reliable trading partners, and they ain't got jack shit. Nothing in comparison to our reliable trading partners, what they have. Reminder, that is the latest reports. Liam Ramos is still in prison in Texas now for 5 days. His parents are legal asylum seekers with no criminal record. In other words, asylum seekers aren't here illegally. They're working their asylum case. That's the kid as the Gestapoer. After they kidnapped him, holding him ransom, trying to get the father to come out. So they could kidnap him too. Eventually they must have, because he and his father are in that horrid Dilley, Texas fucking detention center, or excuse me, concentration camp. I hate you. This is for you, the people I hate. Ready? This is from the King James Bible. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. That means you, the cunt in the mask that kidnaps little children, uses them as bait to get their father to come out, and then ships them to a concentration camp. That's you, son. That's who the man talking to right there. Did you know that? I know that. Good luck, son. Because that don't sound good. It would be better if you put a rock around your neck and jumped into the sea. That's what the man's saying. In comparison to what I'm going to do to you. That's what the man's saying. That's hardcore, man. You're a braver man than me. Even with that mask on. The Trump admin sent a deportation flight of nearly 40 Iranians from the U.S. to Iran on Sunday. Donnie, the guy that's been promising the protesters, I got your back. If they touch one hair on your head, we bombing, we taking them out. They've killed thousands. Donnie's done jack shit. In fact, Donnie's helped out the Iranians by taking 40 that sought asylum because they would have been executed in Iran and just putting them on a plane. Your status is, your protected status, whatever, is gone. Go back and get executed. And that's what Rick Wilson is saying. Death sentence. Yep. Yep. All the rubes and disingenuous cunts and people destined to burn, they all keep calling these people criminals and they shouldn't have crossed the border, shouldn't have come here, you committed a crime. No. No, no, no. Many of these groups and people had protected status. They were here legally. Donnie took the protected status away and shipped them to a concentration camp or Rwanda or wherever. So they weren't criminals. They didn't do anything wrong. They had protected status. As far as they were concerned, and the U.S. government, it was okay for them to be here. Thousands of people we're talking about. And I bet all 40 of those Iranians, too. So this argument that helps you sleep at night is not legitimate. That all these people are criminals and they did something wrong. No, a lot of them were asylum seekers or had protected status. And yes, that is a death sentence, sending those refugee type people that fled Iran back to Iran. They're dead the second the flight hits the ground. Fucking kidding me? Especially with what's going on right now in Iran. I mean, my God, it's just compulsory they're going to be executed. All right, Donnie came out of hiding yesterday. So I felt it was important to share what he said. Now, I've noticed the Reich is really worried they're going to get sued for about $3 trillion by the Preddy family. By what everyone's saying now. And I mean everyone. And Preddy family, you need to sue their fucking ass. I can tell by the way the rhetoric's changed, you would win about $1 billion. Think of the good you could do with that. Probably sue them all individually, too. Take their goddamn house. Do you believe that Alex Preddy's death was justified? Oh, this was Donnie yesterday coming out of hiding because he knows he's responsible for these murders and everything that's going on. Literally. He gave the instructions, so did Stephen Miller. Down to Bovino, down to Noam, down to all of them. Donnie is the standard. He's never the innocent one. Hitler's speeches next to his bed. This thing dreamed of being Hitler. That's where the ideas are coming from. And he just surrounded himself with fellow Nazis that believed just like him. So every single instruction, every single murder is Donnie's fault. So that's why he was in hiding for a little bit. Does it every time. Every time a new atrocity line is crossed that he's directly responsible for, he disappears for a couple days like a child. Do you believe that Alex Preddy's death was justified? We're doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation. The opposite is always true. With the devil, with this demon. There ain't going to be no fucking investigation. Fuck out of here. And he's the one that made it happen, and son wanted it to happen. Again, this ain't politics as normal. This thing isn't human. He enjoys inflicting harm, pain, death on other people. Fred Trump Didn't send this piece of shit to military school for nothing. This ain't the kind of family that gets sent to military school. They're all goddamn draft dodgers, son. His granddad fled Germany so he could avoid it. They ain't into the military. Now, his dad was into like the Klan. The problem was Donnie was a sociopath throwing rocks at babies. To the point he even scared Fred Christ Trump. He had to take action and send his son to fucking military school because he was a goddamn sociopath. That is what you're fucking dealing with. A fucking monster. Something God, who is above us all, who knows more and is all wise, all knowing. We are fucking ants in comparison. Calls this thing a beast. Calls him an animal. That is what the fuck you are dealing with, son. Never forget that. When you're thinking about giving him the benefit of the fucking doubt after he's mass murdered 200 down south and is responsible for 2 murders of U.S. citizens right in front of us and another woman being shot 5 times. He's literally, utterly responsible. Again, that's why he was in hiding for 2 days. Is Kristi Noem going to step down? Trump says no and walks away because he's pissed off at that question. He's pissed off that he had to perform the theater of getting rid of Bovino, which will change nothing, by the way. And when he says no, I think he's going to end up getting rid of her. Always go with the opposite. U.S. carrier strike group enters Middle East region after Iran commander warns U.S. its forces have finger on the trigger. Iran's making big threats as usual. And Donnie's got a huge armada over in the Middle East. Not just for Iran, for Israel and their future plans, I'm sure. Or maybe he'll just divert that over to Greenland. Maybe that's the move here. Make everybody think it's about Iran and just turn it Greenland. It wouldn't surprise me. It'll be done in the dark of night, son. We'll wake up to it. All the big moves will happen in the dark of night. Like the roundups, the arrests of the liberals, all of it. Talking about mass arrests. The New York Times from yesterday looked like this. Mr. Preddy being assassinated, being executed. Major newspaper saying, contrary to the Trump administration narrative, Alex Preddy did not pose a threat to federal agents in Minneapolis, the Times video analysis reveals. Right, we all saw it. We know. I'm just glad they're bold enough to say it. Thank you. The president of Venezuela says she has stopped taking orders from you. What do you say? Donnie. Well, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I haven't heard that at all. We have a very good relationship. Uh-oh. Video from this morning shows ICE agents deploying tear gas outside a Minneapolis preschool as parents shout, "This is a preschool. There's kids here." That was a video. I probably posted it in the post section. Gassing preschools. Really happening. Turning our streets into war zones. Turning neighborhoods into war zones. Deploying tear gas and God knows what else. What was that scripture about the little children's again? Millstone, neck, see. What God's going to do to you is infinitely worse. Something like that. That applies here too. Yeah, we're at the point where there should really be about 10 million people out on the streets protesting. You realize that, right? I'm tired of seeing war zone scenes in neighborhoods because of cunts and masks and a guy who read Hitler's speeches and wants to be Adolf Hitler and eventually wants to be God. I'm not kidding. Donnie again as he was walking away, looking like Alfred Hitchcock. Fucking hunched over fucking hump of a fucking fat ass with a shitty diaper on. You can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns. You can't do that. Really? Because I see all kind of right-wingers with guns all over the place. Protests, not protests, Walmart. Oh, you mean liberals can't have guns because we need to kill all them. They're in the way of the Reich. They're in the way of white supremacy. They're in the way of the Rubes. They want to kill them too. That's what you mean. Only the cult gets guns. That's what you mean. The people the cult doesn't like. They can't have guns, and it's okay to execute them. That's the gospel I've heard since I was bored from the right-wing grift machine. That's the gospel that's been preached since 1945. Every day, all day. It's the only way we could be here right now, enacting, executing that gospel. Cunts and masks that have heard that gospel their whole life, executing it. That's what you people have always wanted. That's what the right-wing grift machine has always wanted. Fascism, and take the guns away from the liberals and execute them. That's what you've always wanted. That's been your gospel since I've known you, son. And I've known you 50 years. Now we're watching it be executed. Carried out. Literally. I wish they would have asked him, was it okay for Kyle Rittenhouse to have a gun? What would Donnie be like? I want to lie, but I just said it's not okay to have. What do I do? I want to cover for the murderer because I'm purely of Satan. I really... His brain would have exploded. You're such disingenuous nothings. My God. Trump needs to get his act together. Oh, this is an Iowa resident, and he looks like this. This is a real person. This is a real interview out on the street. Trump needs to get his act together, and our representatives here in Iowa need to stop following his lead. I'm not voting Republican again. This is the point right here. Trump thinks he's God and he's going to take over the world. This man's a prophet. And he doesn't even know it. Yep. And he's going to want you to say he's God. And he will take over the world. He already has. This guy's spot bloody on. He doesn't realize how much he nailed it. Glad he woke up. This is a poll that was taken, and a guy's making a joke about it. Melanie, look, I'm #1 in Germany, even beating President Putin. Says senile Satan. That's what this dude calls Donnie. And the poll looks like this. Has some of the most evil people in the world and the most evil. Greatest threat to world peace. German survey ranks world leaders. I can't believe Fox put this up. Guess who won? And the Germans. They saw Hitler, son. Do you hear me? 41% say Donnie is the biggest threat to the world. And it should be 100%. Should have said that. Kim Jong is 17%. Ali Khamenei, 8%. Vlad, 8%. 7G. Donnie. Donnie's over double everybody else. I mean, Donnie, it's the first election he ever won by a landslide. The first one. And it's accurate. Actually, more accurate would be 100%. You don't understand. This face right here? That's the end of the world. I know you don't get it. I know you don't believe it. That face is the end of the world. This is Donnie again. I'm looking at the whole situation. I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family, and it's a very sad situation because he knows his family are Trump supporters. No, Donnie doesn't love everybody. He hates everybody. He hates America for what it did to him. He hates all the people that hate him. He hates a lot of the people that like him. That's the truth. Why? Because he's the Antichrist and he's totally of Satan. Look, go into that book you allege to believe in, called the Bible. Read Revelation, the description of this thing. Go into the Old Testament too, and read some of the descriptions of the Antichrist there. There are no redeeming qualities, son. It's an animal. Don't love anybody. Oh, Brian Tyler Cohen saying his administration has spent days calling him a domestic terrorist, right? Calling Mr. Preddy. Now today, all of a sudden, Donnie loves everybody. You know what that means? That means some lawyer went to all them and said, or they saw all of us out here, what we were saying. Yeah, we're about to get sued for like $3 billion. Donnie, you need to put the kibosh on all this assassin talk, all that shit. And they did. Look, Donnie loves everybody now. And all he can say, he shouldn't have a gun, he had a gun, you shouldn't have a gun. You guys all have guns, all you hypocrites. Everywhere you go. Again, I was in a park one day, a guy had an AR over his shoulder. And he's got his wife and little baby in a carriage. And I saw him get out of the car. I saw him go to the trunk and get the rifle. Sling it over his shoulder. And I saw him walk away with his wife and the baby. You know what I did? I left. Because if that asshole would have deployed that weapon for any reason, would have used it, I guarantee he would have had no clue what the fuck he was doing. And God knows where those bullets would have went. That's the problem with shootouts. And if he would have had a handgun, it would have been much less dangerous. And I don't know does he think he's going to meet a gang of 30 people coming at him on American streets? Even a handgun I would have left, but an AR just makes it so much worse. Those bullets are much more powerful, bigger, they go way further. So if he decides to be Rambo, I mean, a bullet could hundreds of fucking yards or feet away could hit somebody. That's why you leave. You don't want to get caught in the middle of that. And everybody can't wait to, get an excuse to use their pop gun when they carry it out in public. Come on. Let's be honest. No, Dundee doesn't love everyone. He tried to smear the guy before he was even cold. This gentleman, remember, did I tell you about him? This gentleman likes to make illegal threats, and this was yesterday, and today we got his name. I'm not going to give it to you yet. And what happens? This is a video. I showed it to you in the post section. ICE agent threatens someone in Minnesota. You raise your voice, I erase your voice. The person that was filming him said, what did you say? If I raise my voice, you'll erase my voice? Is that what you said? And he repeated it. Yeah, and he, he's a little shaky when he repeated it because he realized I might go to prison for that. And plus he's on camera. So these are the types of threats they make to people, and I saw this right on camera, so can't say it didn't happen, son. Can't call it fake news. These are sociopaths. These are criminals that are deployed on our streets killing people, that we're told to go out and threaten, intimidate. You raise your voice, I erase your voice. And he sounded Latin to me. So that told me also, oh, that's another one betraying his people. So many ICE agents have a Latin accent. Sad to hear. This is Governor Newsom press office. The level of fraud in Texas is alarming because of this. Because, the big story in Minnesota is a Somali fraud that doesn't exist. The case was already adjudicated and over that a white woman was in charge of. She was the ringleader. So if fraud is the problem and we need to deploy the Gestapo, can we deploy them to Texas? 48 Texans charged in nationwide $14.6 billion healthcare fraud. If we want to talk about fraud, son. Holy shit. But we all know what this is really about. Subjugation of liberals, liberal areas, liberal cities. Steal the budgets, steal the money. Getting the liberals out of the way. Fraud is really not the problem, and crime isn't the problem, and the law isn't the problem. None of you disingenuous cunts care about that. You voted for a pedophile, a convicted felon, a mass murderer, an adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, who betrayed his country to try and become a dictator and staged a coup, who stole 3,000 classified documents. Fuck you. You don't give a fuck about the law or criminals. You voted for one, the worst of them. It's going to cost you, son. Everything. You chose it, not me. The United States are now threatening Canada by stating that if it cancels a deal to purchase 88 F-35 jets, that the U.S. would fly in their airspace with F-35 fighter jets without their permission before they annex the country. Mr. Carney in Canada, you'd be insane to buy these planes, especially after scandal about how the American companies or American military can disable those planes that they sell you. And Donnie's saying out loud, like a true cunt, the ones we sell to foreigners will be 10% dumbed down. Oh, well, that makes them real appealing. Plus the little feature where the U.S. government can shut your F-35 that costs $19 billion off. Mr. Carney, don't do it, son. Please show me you're smarter than that. Do not buy those planes. You're insane if you even think about it. I don't think Mr. Carney will end up buying them. He seems pretty determined to trade around the U.S. and get the U.S. out of his life. I don't blame him. I would have been canceled this contract a long time ago while Donnie was focused on Epstein or something. Trump on the killing of Alex Preddy. Again, this is Gavin Newsom saying this. You know you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns. Can't walk into this. You can't do that. That's Donnie getting on about to get on the chopper or whatever. Gavin saying Donald Trump does not support the Second Amendment. Yeah, not for liberals. Neither do any of you. You never did. I've heard this bullshit time and time again. If a right-winger commits a crime with a gun, you love it. If a liberal even has a gun, you want him hung. That's why you will burn. You're a hypocrite. You believe in nothing, and you have murder in your heart for half your fellow citizens. And now you're executing what's in your heart. You traitors from Texas and other Arkansas, all the traitor states. And again, I want to clarify. When I use that phrase, traitor states, I'm talking about you specific white supremacist traitors, no matter what color you are, that are willing to put the mask on and go to another state. I'm talking about your governments. The top of Arkansas government are all traitors. Sarah Huckabee, utter traitor. Abbott's the head of Texas, and that government in Texas, Paxton, utter traitors. My God, most of the Gestapo that's been deployed on you is from Texas. The ones in D.C., the military guys, those traitors. So that's what I mean when I say Arkansas is a traitor state. Texas is a traitor state. I'm not saying every citizen in that state is a traitor. Understand what I'm trying to say to you. So Donnie, again, your gospel that you've been preaching and now has come to life. Liberals can't have guns and we're allowed to kill them. We're watching it happen right now. That's all I heard since I was born. That idea being spoken out loud, being preached, being accepted. It became a normal part of our culture. Now we're paying the price. Don't worry, the rubes and the traitors will pay much worse. No matter what they do to us. My God, what will happen to them? I'm going to read it to you one night. I know you won't care. You won't take it seriously. You'll think it's entertainment. It isn't, son. I wouldn't be here just for entertainment's sake. Not about this shit. I wouldn't be losing this much sleep, money, so many things. This is Senator Van Hollen, the one who helped get Kilmar Abrego. That was very ballsy. Don't forget it. This man went down to El Salvador, the lion's den. And you know, everybody wanted to kill him. You know, Donnie wanted to kill him. You know, Bukele wanted to kill him. Took balls to go down there. U.S. Senator didn't have to do it. Trump's ICE just purchased a warehouse in Maryland for $100 million to hold 1,000 plus detainees. Something else being done with your tax money, buying warehouses meant to store goddamn boxes, to store human beings. A whole concentration camp infrastructure is being built. They're going to build insane asylums. They're already using military bases for concentration camps. We already have the for-profit private concentration camps. Alligator, Alcatraz, Seacot. Do you understand what you're seeing, what you're witnessing? An entire infrastructure to exterminate people or house people at first. Warehouses, etc. And we're all just letting it happen. Again, back to Donnie. Why did you decide to shake up your leadership team in Minnesota? I do that all the time. I shake up teams. No. What Donnie does is he throws people under the bus because Donnie gave the ultimate instructions. He is at the top of the pyramid. Donnie is responsible for the murders. He wanted them to happen. He gave the Gestapo their instructions. So did Stephen Miller. And others. Miss Noam, where do you think she got it from? She said today. I'm going to read it to you in a moment. Everything comes from Donnie. This entire Reich, this entire concept, this entire idea. So what happened? What did we just see? We saw Mr. Bovino take the fall for Donnie's shitbags. Even though Bovino's an evil fuck and he's just as responsible for those murders, ultimately, at the top, the one who points the finger and says, go get him, that's Donnie. So Mr. Bovino, who thought he was all in with the Reich and all comfortable, he's going to be there forever. Nope, somebody needs to be the sacrificial lamb for Donnie. When he goes in hiding for a couple days because the whole world wants his fucking head. Because he's responsible for murder. Some pawn must be thrown forth, and you're all pawns. Anyone under Donnie is a pawn. We just saw that. Donnie needed to sacrifice a pawn, son, to keep this grift going, to keep this Reich going, to keep his, he and Satan's thing going. There goes Bovino under the fucking bus. Mr. Nazi jacket guy, Mr. Loudmouth, Mr. Tough guy. Gone. All to protect Donnie, because Donnie just as responsible as Bovino. In fact, he's more responsible because, again, the orders came. He is the top from the top down. So ultimately, every death is on him. He deployed these fuckers. So he doesn't shake up shit. He throws people under the bus so the grift can continue sacrificial pawns over and over again. And they're all so surprised when it happens to them. It's fascinating to watch. Let me take another break. I'll be right back. Wolverines! some water before I continue. Back to Donnie. Do you agree with the assessment from some of your own officials that Alex Preddy is a domestic terrorist or assassin? Cue the lawsuit. Well, I haven't heard that, but he certainly shouldn't have been carrying a gun. I don't like that he had a gun. You liked when Rittenhouse had a gun. And he killed 3 people. Or 2? I can't remember. I get so confused. So many goddamn murderers. I get them mixed up in my head. With your satanic movement. And almost every single one turns out to be a MAGA type person with a rifle. Almost every single one. Even the one that shot Charlie Kirk. Didn't I just give the farmers $12 billion, Donnie says. Did you farmers get your welfare yet? You know, your socialist handout that you vote against and cry about and say is evil. Oh, that's only when black people get a handout. Never mind. I forgot. You're all goddamn racist. I forgot. You love when you get the handout, though. You take that motherfucker. I remember the farmer in the first term. Yeah, I took the help. I took the check. Yeah, I know you goddamn did. Right after you got off of 4chan calling everybody a goddamn socialist, right? How many times has a socialist saved your asses? You fucking worthless cunts. That made this Reich happen. That voted R time after time after coming to the socialists. Fuck you. Begged you not to do it. You did it again. I know you people. I know you went through all that heat the first 4 years and you did it again. I know you did. Almost every one of you. In other words, son, in the first term, in the second when Biden won, and in this one, the people you hate, including me, cared about your goddamn farm more than you did. That's a damn shame. So Rep. Zach Nunn responds to Donnie. $66 billion in total. Did you guys get $66 billion? I don't know if I'm buying it. Sounds like bullshit. Then Donnie says they were treated unfairly by foreign countries. You know where I got it? Tariffs. No, he didn't. Straight out the Treasury. Tariffs is Donnie's money. How do I know that? He said he took it from tariffs. That's how I know that. Says it all the time. That's how I know it's not tariff money. They weren't treated unfairly. Donnie had a tariff grift going. They were treated unfairly by Donnie term 1 and term 2. Biden didn't want to fuck you over with tariffs. But he was evil, right? You guys keep coming to the socialists, and then you vote against the socialists and want to shoot them. I can't express how monumentally stupid you people are. You are the literal downfall of the world and the American empire. Already gone. So many of you lost your farms. And we begged you not to do it again. You paid for that. The socialists out there, I'm talking to you. You paid for the farmers' welfare again. Didn't come from fucking tariff money. Get the fuck out of here. Governor Newsom press office. Fraud in Texas appears to be widespread. Another headline. Since you rubes are so concerned about fraud. and not pedophiles. You're fine with pedophiles. 7 women now charged in $100 million Fort Bend hospice fraud scheme. $100 million. These are Donnie level grifts here. In Texas, in Arkansas. Not in Minnesota. That one was already prosecuted. So should we deploy the Gestapo in Texas? Goddamn hypocrites. This is Barry Weiss, a memo to her employees, and I just want to read you one part of it. It leaked immediately, by the way, to Brian Stelter. So someone in the meeting leaked it. We will no longer tell viewers what happened. We present argument and opinion about what happened. You mean like Fox News? Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's what you mean. We know. This is the point. We expect that to offend many of our viewers, and we don't care. They don't care about losing money. They don't care about losing audience. That is not TV. That's an agenda. In TV, they want to make money and they want an audience. That's the point of fucking TV. They don't want an audience. They'll eat the loss of viewers and money. Twitter, same thing. All the social media, same thing. TikTok basically saying the same thing. The US version. They've probably lost a few, millions of users. They don't care. They'll take the loss. That's not what this is about. It's about controlling all outlets. And they almost there. They this close. And they'll get there. Don't worry. I won't be here forever. Enjoy it now. And join the other place in case they shut us down here, because it will happen. Ed Norton, I was happy to see, and more stars, I'm surprised, aren't saying this, because I'm thinking the same thing he's thinking. And this is what he looks like. I liked a lot of his movies. I'm sitting here talking about movies while an illegal army is being mounted against U.S. citizens. These are not normal times. What they're doing in Minnesota with the strike needs to expand. We should be talking about a national general economic strike. Boy, would that have them gnashing their teeth. Just like demons. That's their worst fear. Grind the machine to a halt. I used to write poetry about it when I was like 30 years old. Late 20s. But I knew even then it would never happen. Because there's not that kind of solidarity. Let's be honest. More stars, because I'm thinking the same thing when I watch interviews with famous people. I sit there and think, this is so just meaningless in comparison to what's happening to all of us. So I'm really glad he said this, because every big star like him that says something like that on a national television show, they're going to take a lot of heat. They're risking something. And they're also risking the wrath of the Reich. So, it takes balls. And I'm glad he at least said something. And he's not the only one. But I wish the stars would have come out earlier. Because now it's too late. If most of Hollywood would have really been talking shit on this first term and this term. I mean, most of you, almost all of you, if you all, every event, every social media if you all would have been constantly talking shit on the Reich and Donnie shitbags and what he wants to do and MAGA, I bet it would have went away. But you didn't do that. So now when you all come out in the, I don't know, if it's a clock, the 11th hour, because once it hits 12, it's over. We're full Reich and we're fucked. And that's inevitable and it's coming soon. I guess what I'm trying to say is I commend you all, several of you stars, more of you saying things like this. I wish you would have done it earlier. It's too late now. CNN's new reporting suggests Preddy was attacked by federal agents, entered into a database, and then possibly targeted by his eventual killers. Remember the Gestapo who took the picture of the license plate and the woman that was filming? And they asked the Gestapo, why you doing that, Mr. Gestapo? Oh, we got a nice little database you're going in. They're filming protesters. They're filming people that film them. They're showing up at their homes. They're executing them out on the street. And Mr. Preddy and the woman that was shot 5 times may have been on a list already. We know what that list is for something to happen to you. Arrest, murder, whatever. Let's read some of this. Federal immigration officers have been collecting personal info about protesters and agitators in Minneapolis. Sources told CNN it had documented details about Alex Preddy before he was shot to death on Saturday. It's unclear how Preddy first came to the attention of federal authorities, but sources told CNN that about a week before his death, he suffered a broken rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting their attempt to detain other individuals. So he had an injury from a prior incident with the Gestapo, and they put his name on a list. And then the next thing you know, he's dead. Preddy's name is known to federal agents according to a source, though it's unclear whether the new intake form was used to share his info. It's unclear whether federal agents who encountered Preddy on Saturday recognized him before they confronted him, eventually wrestling him to the ground, taking a gun from his waistband, and then killing him. It almost did seem like a plan, the way it played out. That's what's happening. You understand we're going on lists, right? For future retribution. Two Trinidadian men who were killed in a U.S. boat strike in October have sued the U.S. government. Their family members are suing, excuse me. Accusing it of wrongful death and extrajudicial killings. The lawsuit is the first of its kind to be filed against the Trump admin or the Reich. Again, we've probably forgotten about the mass murder that took place down in the Caribbean. Over 100 bodies on the sea, about 80 bodies on land. And that was before the murder of U.S. citizens right in front of us. Donnie had a sit-down interview with Fox yesterday after he finally came out of hiding because he's literally responsible for 2 murders and 180 down south. Minnesota's in the news a lot, but what they don't say is that Minnesota has low number because of the fact that we took thousands of hardened criminals out of Minnesota. So they have good crime numbers, believe it or not. We're gonna de-escalate. Oh, de-escalate the attack by the U.S. government against Minnesota? He's talking about it like it's a war. All I saw them taking was, I don't know, 5-year-olds, old ladies, grown men, about 9 of them. Well, they would just, take their weapon and execute them. See them shooting little Spanish ladies. They didn't look like hardened criminals to me. You know who looks like a hardened criminal and actually is one? This fat fuck right here. Adjudicated defamer, rapist, and fraud. Convicted felon. Staged a coup, stole 3,000 classified documents. Mass murderer, responsible for 2 murders of U.S. citizens and an attempted murder against another one. Responsible for the gassing of children. 1 baby almost died. Remember that? 6-month-old? Because they gassed the neighborhood. Donnie, again, I don't like the fact that he was carrying a gun that was fully loaded. He had 2 mags with him. That's pretty unusual. Nobody knows when they saw that gun. That's not true at all. There's people walking around with guns all over the fucking place. And they got clips with them too, son. Can't reload without a fucking clip. Not unusual at all. Didn't even pull it. Suddenly, you Second Amendment people, again, Donnie, he had a gun on him. Oh. You people love guns. You don't believe in anything, neither does Donnie. You do believe, actually, in one thing, killing liberals, and that they shouldn't have guns. And that's not new. We take out drug dealers, we take out a whole group of people by the thousands, and if we get one person a little bit wrong, headlines, but they don't talk about all the tremendous. The reason we have Minnesota crime down is because we took out so many criminals. No, they didn't. They executed 2 U.S. citizens. I see them grabbing babies and little kids and shooting, again, little Spanish women. And if we get one person a little bit wrong, says the sociopath his daddy had to send to military school. That's how the guy responsible for 2 deaths characterizes it. A little bit wrong. No, it's what you're going to burn for, you fat fuck. And again, all that fat's going to make the flames rise up even hotter. You fat fuck. A little bit wrong. Flat out execution of 2 U.S. citizens. We all watched it. This cunt has the nerve to come out of hiding and say we get it a little bit wrong. Antichrist. Destined for the motherfucking lake, named specifically, son. Bovino is very good, but he's a pretty out there kind of guy. Wow, I didn't think Bovino could go further under the bus. That's the Antichrist, motherfucker. Someone got to take the heat off of Donnie for the murders he's responsible for. That would be Bovino. Let me read that again. Bovino is good, but he's a pretty out there kind of guy, says the Antichrist who gave him the instructions. In some cases, that's good. Maybe it wasn't good here. But when I watch some of the people I've been watching over the past few weeks, these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid agitators. These people aren't normal. No, that's the Gestapo. Paid with your money. Agitators and insurrectionists. And no, they ain't normal. No normal man or woman would carry a gun, get dressed in full military gear, put a mask on, and kidnap 5-year-olds. That's not normal. You're destined for the lake. Garbage. Waste of oxygen. Sociopath. Have you retreated in Minnesota? It's just the opposite. I was called by the governor and mayor. How do we do something, please? I think it's bad for them. I don't think it's bad for us. I think it's bad for them. Donnie's worried about the optics of him looking weak after the murder of 2 of your fellow citizens. Antichrist. We all know what happened. They killed 2 people. They can feel the pitchforks and torches are this close to coming out. Donnie was in hiding for 2 days like he always does. So they decided to throw a sacrificial lamb or 2 because Miss Snow might go out the door soon too. Also, Donnie can keep killing people and grifting and lying his ass off. Because that's all any human being is to this fat cunt. No matter how much you're down with the MAGA cause. No matter how much you're down with Satan. You saw Co-Chancellor get the foot in the ass. Co-Chancellor. Who gave him $250 million and more. If Co-Chancellor can get the foot up the ass, anyone can. But I told you at the beginning, and I've been saying for 10 years, Donnie throws every single person under the bus. It's inevitable. We just saw head of the Gestapo get shit canned. A lot of what's going on with respect to Minneapolis with all the hoopla is so people don't talk about the fraud. It's a distraction. No. A lot of things that are going on are about distracting from Epstein. Now Bovino's been fired to distract from the murders. Donnie calls him his mass cunt police force, kidnapping, murdering, and terrorizing. He calls that hoopla. No, the reason for all the hoopla is the 2 literal executions of U.S. citizens we saw on live television. That's what the hoopla is about, Antichrist cunt. Destined to burn hot. Do you know how much God must hate you to have named you specifically? You don't want God to hate you. You don't want to be like Donnie. And he does hate Donnie. You'll see how much he hates Donnie. And any one of you that take his mark and follow, you will see how much God hates Donnie. You will see how much God hates you. That is a promise. And I'm much wiser than you. It looks like Darth Vader may have chopped Donnie's hand off because he's rocking the black Skywalker glove. Yesterday. Remember Luke Skywalker got his hand chopped off and he rocked the black glove over it? That's Donnie now. Another angle. rocking the Skywalker glove. That hand must look horrible. They can't even put makeup to cover it up anymore. When Donnie's rocking a glove. Shit. Must look bad. This is Donnie at a rally. I can't remember if this is yesterday or today. This may have been today. I can't remember yesterday. By the way, there's another beautiful armada floating towards Iran right now, so we'll see. You know, some of your kids might not come home from the military. Donnie doesn't care. He ain't fighting. Armada going towards Iran. Can Donnie get his Nobel now? Oh, that's right. He stole it from Miss Machado. Forgot about that. How she shows up, no greeting, goes through the metal detectors like she's the fucking cleaning lady. Hand the trophy over, take a quick picture. All right, honey, thanks a lot. Good luck with fucking Venezuela. Oh, did you want to be leader? I don't think that's a good idea. Thanks for the trophy. See you later, honey. I got some teenage girls that, waiting for me. Another armada floating towards Iran. Great news, right, Rubes? World War III, it's awesome. Donnie in front of the crowd, again, saying, should we do it a fourth time? Donnie's literally talking now as if he won the election that Biden won and he was president. He's saying a fourth term as if he was president for 3 terms already. This is how far gone we are. Where he's outright in every speech when he brings it up. It's not a 3rd term, it's a 4th. Can you even fathom the mental illness? You can't. That's why I've been yelling for 10 years. Should we do it a 4-time, 4 victories? We got the right team over there. He didn't win. Ilhan Omar got attacked. Guy sprayed her or something, was yelling a bunch of stuff, and the security had to grab him and take him out. She was at an event speaking. Donnie gonna get that woman killed. And how many times has Donnie focused on someone and they get attacked or whatever? But I know she's the evil one, right? That's why your country's over, because that's what you believe. You believe the Antichrist is a good guy. And you believe Ilhan is the bad guy. That is why your country's over. The Antichrist, for fuck's sake. Donnie post, I believe this was from today. It looks like this. A massive armada is heading to Iran. It's moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It is a larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Lincoln than that's sent to Venezuela. Gee, what are they going to do? Maybe they're going to send some to Greenland, too. That's, large. What the fuck new devilry do they have planned? It'll be handy when they build the temple. No one's going to fuck with that. It'll be handy for their plans in Gaza. Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table, negotiate fair and equitable deal, equals no nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer. a major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention. Blah, blah, fucking blah. World War III. You ready? Days before ICE ambushed Miramar Martinez and shot her 5 times, DHS circulated a memo to agents with her name and face saying to be on the lookout for her for doxing agents. They know what they're asking agents to do. And they're quoting the CNN thing I already read you. Both of those people, their names are already on a list. They were told to be on the lookout. I hate you. And I sincerely mean that. Because one of them was shot 5 times. They attempted to kill her, and one was actually executed. That's your fault. And your Antichrist's fault. We've seen ICE agents take photos of observers, tell them they're going in a domestic terror database. They circulated Miss Martinez's photo, and she ended up being shot 5 times. Alex Preddy had his rib broken by ICE and was murdered a week later. Yep. Their names were on a list. They may have been straight up targeted. If I had to bet money on one of the two, were they targeted or no, I would put it all and they were targeted, because these are evil goddamn fucks. Obviously. We watched them execute 2 people in the most brutal and cowardly of fucking ways. This was from today. This woman was on CNN. It looks like this. I watched him die, then I watched them maneuver his body like a rag doll, only to discover it was because they wanted to count the bullet wounds and see how many they got, like he was a deer. I goddamn hate you. And you know who I'm talking to. Randy Fine on Ilhan Omar. I blame Ilhan Omar for what happened. Will you blame her for you being in a lake? Because that's where you going, son. Mr. Fine's been making a lot of outrageous comments lately. The man will not be pleased. You won't be so fine in a lake, son. And I can tell that's where you going. Guaranteed inevitable. I can't see you turning away. I see you doubling down. Molly Ringwald made a little video. And I love Molly Ringwald. The 80s movie she was in that movie, The Stand, that Stephen King novel with the horrible ending. And she's such a beautiful woman. And she has something I always noticed about her. I don't know, she just has this goodness that comes off. I can't think of a better word to describe it. Here's what she said. She was damn near in tears too, given this. I could tell it wasn't easy, and she was emotional, and she should be. That shows me she's human. And she's paying attention. I just wish she would have said something earlier. It's too late now. I can't stay silent, neither should you. There's something horrible going on in our country right now. Right now, this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government. ICE is brutalizing people. These are human beings. If you don't care about that, if you only care about yourself, you are going to be seen as a collaborationist. She talked about France and how that all went down, and how people that collaborated with the Nazis, what happened and how people viewed them after they got their country back. What's going to happen to you, Nazis? Much worse than happened to the old ones. Oh my God, it's so much worse. You would be begging for a hangman's noose. That's how bad it will be. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you the fucking truth, son. Don't matter if you believe it, agree, care, don't care. Don't matter. Inevitable. She made the point how they were seen as collaborationists, the people that collaborated with the Nazis against their fellow French citizens. She made the point how these are human beings. And she was almost crying. It was quite powerful, actually. And she still has that quality that she always had. It's amazing. Okay, Donnie got pissed at something Mayor Jacob Frey said. So we put up a little post. Surprisingly, Mayor Jacob Frey just stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. This is after having had a very good conversation with him. Could somebody in his inner sanctum please explain that this statement is a very serious violation of the law and that he is playing with fire? That's in caps. Mr. Frey responded, "The job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration law." Right. They're not Gestapo, they're not ICE, they're not Border Patrol, they're fucking cops. "I want them preventing homicides, not hunting down a working dad who contributes to MPLS and is from Ecuador. It's similar to the policy your guy Rudy had in NYC. Everyone should feel safe calling 911. Right. They're not, the cops ain't there to help the fucking Gestapo. They're there to police the neighborhood and respond to 911 calls. Okay, if she really said this, I can't find the audio. Aaron Rupar posted it himself. This picture. I don't know why he didn't post the audio. Maybe he didn't get a chance to get the clip. Christy the Gnome. "Everything I've done at the direction of the president and Stephen." Looks like this. CNN and a quote. I don't know where this quote came from. I haven't heard the audio for it. I was looking for the motherfucker. Because I thought to myself, if she really said this, yeah, she's getting fired. But Noel Kassler has a theory. I saw him, he made a few comments today, and he talked about how some of the cabinet members, they know about all Donnie's crimes. They're covering for him. So they could go to Donnie and be like, if you fire me, I'm blabbing, motherfucker. You better not fire me. Bondi? What she knows? Gnome? Quote, it's on CNN and Aaron, excuse me, this is a quote, it's on CNN and Aaron Rupar posted it. I trust it. "Everything I've done at the direction of the president and Stephen." That's someone covering their ass that thinks they on the way out. And that's the truth. Again, Stephen Miller ain't the bad guy. Miss Gnome ain't the bad guy. They're all the bad guy, including Donnie. And the instructions came from the fucking top. And Donnie wanted sycophants that would carry out any instruction he gave. He found them in Gnome, Bovino, etc. Holman, all of them. Now they're seeing the first cabinet members go under the bus. Not cabinet, but high level Bovino, head of the Gestapo. And now Gnome obviously is on the chopping block, or she wouldn't have said that. But her saying that and they're CNN quoting it, it makes it seem to me, I just can't see Donnie not firing her now if she said this. No matter what the consequences are. Because now she just put the heat on him and Stephen Miller. Snakes. What did I say snakes do, class? They eat each other. And I said that back in the Rockstar days, too. Rand Paul, a hearing today, and he had Rubio in front of him, I believe. Little Marco. If a country bombed our air defense missiles, captured and removed our president, blockaded our country, would that be considered an act of war? Rubio. We just don't believe this operation comes anywhere close to the constitutional definition. Yeah, because then you need congressional approval, so. Paul, of course it would be an act of war. Yes, of course it would. If Russia or wherever attacked us, bombed us, kidnapped the president, there wouldn't be one American that would say, as Russia says, it was just a special operation. It wasn't a war. There isn't one American that would consider it not an act of war. That's why you're disingenuous cunts destined for the lake. Because you can't state the truth. Look, Donnie conducted a war without congressional approval. He should be impeached for it. You're not allowed to do that. Having Rubio sit there and say it's not a war, that don't make it not a war. That just makes it a lie. It's a war, and if some country did it to us, every goddamn one of us would be saying it's an act of war. Come on, including Rubio and fat fuck Donnie. Donnie again on a new grift he's got going, these Trump accounts. You dumbasses, go ahead if you want to invest money in a Trump savings account. You motherfuckers are all going to wake up one day after that shit's earned all kind of interest in the market in a year or two. And it'll just be gone. Donnie pocketed it. You think I'm kidding, son? Everything's a grift. I'm pleased to announce that Visa is creating a brand new platform that will allow credit card holders to deposit their cash back rewards directly into Trump accounts. Where's the head of Visa? Thank you very much. These Trump savings accounts for your kids, I guess he's talking about. Your cash back from your credit card will go in there. I don't even want to know what nefarious ass grift the credit card company has and he has with that action. And I can just see all you dumbasses having these Trump baby account, whatever the fuck he's talking about, and it maturing for a few years and then him stealing every goddamn penny. I don't even know what devilry this is, but it's Donnie's shitbags and it's credit card companies. There is a goddamn grift in here somewhere, son. And you know it. I don't even want to know what it is. Okay, this is Jed from Red Dawn. Patrick Swayze played Jed. That was his name. And this is the truck. And he's deploying this stuff like as quick as possible, and there's people starting to gather around his truck, and he's handing it out. I believe I heard him say on the tape that he had 30 gas masks and some others, and he's like, everything's free in the truck. He's like, grab some stuff, and he's trying to get it out real quick. He's trying to get out of there because he literally went through a barricade, like fucking Jed in Red Dawn, delivering supplies to the troops. Do you realize where you are? You in the movie, son. And the troops are your fellow citizens, called traitors in masks. And your military, who's been deployed against you from the traitor states, Arkansas, Texas, Arizona, etc. And you've been under attack by Russia since 1945, but especially in a social media age, the computer age, where they can get right to your living room. Vlad and his boys. And they did, boy. They had you people doing cartwheels, jumping jacks, repeating the talking points like good little death parrots. And they got you to hand over your country to a Russian asset called Donny Krasnov, who also coincidentally happens to be, you people couldn't have fucked up more and fucked us more, the Antichrist. You fucking idiots. Oh my God. And you are in the movie Red Dawn now. And the patriots are traitors. And the rubes and country folk are traitors. And the liberals are all that's left, son. Military is deployed against you. They ain't doing jack goddamn shit. They commit mass murder down in Venezuela. They police in the streets in D.C., rounding up the homeless. God knows what happened to them. And then there's a mass police force, absolute immunity, deployed literally against you right now. You are fighting the Reich and Russia. You're in a different version of Red Dawn. You're in it right now, and it's already begun. The movement. This man that did this, again, look at the picture, is the First WolVerine. Another domestic terrorist, I showed you one the other day. This is Edgardo Gonzalez. He was the one that threatened those people. If you raise your voice, I'll erase your voice. You raise your voice, I erase your voice. ICE Nazi Edgardo Gonzalez, suspected kidnapper and terrorist who likes to make illegal threats to U.S. citizens. Get a good look. The video came out one day, his name came out the next. Miami, Florida, ICE. Edgardo Gonzalez of Miami, Florida is an ICE deportation officer who was filmed threatening a Minneapolis observer by saying, "You raise your voice, I erase your voice." Gonzalez is a native of Puerto Rico and has lived in Miami and Hollywood, Florida. I know those areas. Born in Puerto Rico, you say? Betraying his people. Edgardo Gonzalez from South Florida, Miami area. Public servant. We didn't used to have a mass anonymous police force that murdered us on the streets. Public servants' names, badge numbers, etc., faces should be known. Cops do it every day. Breaking news from the New York Times. 2 federal agents involved in killing of Alex Preddy are placed on leave. Until they're placed in prison, I don't give a fuck. Placed on leave. If I execute somebody on the street, I go to fucking prison. Especially if I'm wearing a mask when I fucking do it. Like a real criminal, by the way. You know, people wore masks to rob banks, murder people, rob trains. Criminals wear fucking masks. Literally. So they got placed on leave, and we don't know that. We don't even know their names. How do we know? Worthless. And I don't even believe the right put them on. We don't know their names. It's impossible to verify. Governor Newsom press office again. Can we talk about the fraud happening in Arkansas? Lavaca man sentenced in $134 million COVID-19 fraud scheme. $134 million. And they weren't Somalian in Texas or in Arkansas. So should we deploy the Gestapo? No? New York Times again. I know exactly what this is about. FBI agents search election center in Georgia over 2020 vote. An election from 5 years ago. The cross-eyed podcaster raided their headquarters. So he can fabricate some fake evidence and say Donnie won the election. And Donnie can say he won the election. And rig the next one. I hate you. Break time again. Because we had 2 hours and 20 fucking 2 minutes. And I hope I'm almost done. I'm still pissed my song got fucked up in the beginning. It still is irking me. Because of shitty fucking Verizon. Getting cold again. We ain't gonna have no more iguanas down here if it stays like this. I haven't seen any lately. Poor bastards. Okay, little Marco in the hearing. Senator Shaheen is questioning little Marco. $500 million in reported Venezuelan oil sales. $300 million went to Maduro's government. Where's the rest? Rubio. In a Qatari account. Shaheen. It'll be audited? Rubio. Just the expenses. That's not a full audit. What do they want to hide from you? Just the fact that it's in a Qatari bank account that Donnie controls. I mean, impeachment right there. God, it just Qatari bank account. That's shady as fuck already. Then Donnie controls the money. Then there's no audit. You fucking marks. Fucking marks. Rand Paul again. What if a foreign country indicts our president for violating foreign law? Should we extradite him or be okay if they come and get him by force? Rubio, we're always going to act in our national interest. You mean expanding in the empire and stealing resources like Rome? Paul, what I'm saying is our arguments are empty. It's a ruse. We do what we do because we have the force. Yep. Like Rome. Yeah. Like Nazi Germany. Yeah. That's wrong. We don't need to do it either. Donnie's got a right going, and he needs a lot of gas for all that war he's got planned. Probably won't lower gas prices 1 cent. That's not the intention. And the oil companies, why would they stop gouging you? Their religion is greed, son. Not God. They could fucking care less about you. Duckworth is questioning Rubio. If it's true that we are not at war with Venezuela, will you advise the president to rescind his invocation of the Wartime Alien Enemies Act? Rubio, that was a mechanism to remove people from our country that present great danger. You mean people with protected status that weren't criminals? Because that's mostly who you're grabbing. Duckworth, it's a wartime act. Are we currently at war? She cornered him. Rubio said no. Then why are you invoking a wartime act? He can't say we're at war because any war would need Congress. So he's got to say no. And she knew that before she asked the question. Another reminder of the fraud problem in Arkansas. This is Gavin Newsom again, the press office. And he's talking about this headline. A lot of fraud in Texas and Arkansas. Probably because they're run by right-wing grift machine grifters. Because it's always been a grift, son. You people never believed in shit. Never. Even during the Reagan days. Reagan and Nancy Reagan, we're going to do the war on drugs because drugs are bad and we're Christians. Oh, Ollie, could you come here for a second? Ollie, could you get some drugs and sell them so we get some weapons? Give them to fucking Iranians and shit so we can overthrow Iran. Because we always been wanting to do that. They've been trying that since Reagan's son. To overthrow Iran. Again. Because they already did before. And there was freedom in Iran and girls wore dresses and all that shit. For a while. The 70s. Then it went back to the old ways. Then the CIA came in. Said, let's overturn it again. So as Nancy and Ronnie were being the good Christians and talking about how drugs are bad, Reagan was fully aware the CIA was financing every operation with drugs. And they still do it to this day. And your budget money, of course. 4 senior citizen sisters plead guilty in defrauding $11.5 million from the USDA. Wow, a lot of fraud in Arkansas and Texas. We need to deploy the fucking Gestapo. And they're not Somalians. They're rubes. Huh. This is Representative Joaquin Castro. He went down to Dili to visit the 5-year-old you help in prison and help get kidnapped. Pat yourself on the back. I'm sure the man will be very pleased with you. Just visited with Liam and his father at Dili Detention Center. I demanded his release and told him how much his family, his school, and our country loves him and is praying for him. I believe the child has gotten ill since being at the center. Which makes sense because Dili's a goddamn nightmare. That's him being held by someone. I assume that's his father, and that's the rep. And that's what you're responsible for. I'm glad I ain't got my name on that. Because there's going to be fire involved. I'd rather not. You a braver man than me, son. Good luck. Trump again at a podium. Decades from now, I believe Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. Trump accounts. You mean the largest grift of all time. Is that what you mean, Donnie? I bet that's what you mean. Anything with the word Trump on Trump accounts, get the fuck out. I want nothing to do with that shit. Fucking kidding me? The king of fraud, the king of money laundering, the king of being a deadbeat, where banks in America wouldn't even lend to the motherfucking deadbeat ass motherfucker anymore. Senator Ossoff commented on the FBI raid, you know, where they'll fabricate some bullshit and say Donnie won the election 5 years ago. Senator Ossoff on FBI raid. It's an elections office in Georgia, and he's a senator from Georgia. After losing Georgia in 2020, Donald Trump demanded state officials find votes to change the outcome, tried to use the DOJ to overturn it, spread conspiracy theories that led to the Jan 6 sacking of the U.S. Capitol. I suspect today's raid is a continuation of this sore loser's crusade, despite repeated audits and independent reviews confirming that Trump was indeed defeated. From Minnesota to Georgia, on display to the whole world is a president spiraling out of control, wielding federal law enforcement as an unaccountable instrument of personal power and revenge. Yep, that's why I wish he would have taken it more seriously while Biden was president. Now it's too late. America is over. The world is over. This going to World War III. This going to Armageddon. This going to horror in the United States. It's already there. Okay, this is Tricia McLaughlin in an interview again. And remember, she was one of the most outspoken, calling the guy Mr. Preddy an assassin, all the horrible things. Because she don't give a fuck. Again, a lawyer came in and had a little conversation with the cabinet and said, everything you guys are saying about this guy, you're opening the government up to, and you folks personally, lawsuits that would total billions of dollars. You're fucking morons, and you need to walk it way the fuck back. And even then, you would lose the case. You know how I know that? Right here. You ready? Varney. Secretary Noem accused Alex Preddy of being a domestic terrorist. Is the administration standing by that language? McLaughlin. So initial statements were made after reports from CBP on the ground. It was a very chaotic scene. We know that our ICE law enforcement are facing rampant threats against him. Notice no. Assassin, no. Now we were confused. I would sue any goddamn way. Varney, would you use that expression again? McLaughlin. I think we have to really have the investigation leading the way on this. That's not what your people were saying before. I'm so sick of this pattern. When the fucking lying ass talking points don't stick, they just say, oh, well, we need to wait for the investigation now. Well, wait a minute. You were calling him assassin fucking the devil a few days ago. Now you're not saying any of that stuff. Because it didn't work. If it would have worked, they would sort of kept on running with it. Fucking disgusting to watch this over and over again for 10 fucking years. And this cunt right here was the worst of them. She was saying worse shit than Gnome. This waste of oxygen right here. Now she ain't saying shit. Amazing how the stories change with you rubes and your Antichrist and your Reich. Minutely. That tends to happen though when you realize you might get sued for $8 billion and lose. Just so we're clear, Haitians are currently in the United States legally. They are not here illegally. Trump is revoking their legal status February 3rd. There's a lot of Haitians down here. I wonder what's going to happen to them. And then, according to the reports, immediately sending ICE into Springfield and Columbus, Ohio to target them. Remember the earthquake in Haiti? I assume the government offered to let a lot of them come here. Refugee. Protected status. They're not illegals. They will be now. Venezuelans, that first group that got sent to CCOT, they had protected status as well. That was taken away. So they weren't in the country illegally, despite what you cunts say about them. Despite your talking points given to you by the Reich and the devil. The Haitians and the Somalians and all the different groups. A lot of these people, they work in all different jobs. They have lives here. If their status gets taken, what the fuck? They just get all grabbed and deported? I see a lot of Haitians every day. Every single day. Certain places I go. I can't imagine them being all grabbed and taken away. I wonder if it'll go that far. Insane. This is Ted Lieu. That's Mr. Lieu to you. And he's commenting on the Kristi Noem thing. What she said. However, all the instructions came from Donnie and Steve. Ted Lieu is saying, I was only following orders. That's the argument she's making, yeah. But that's not really what's going on here. Miss Noem knows she's on the way out. And she's letting the Reich know, she's letting the world know that these weren't my instructions. Even though she didn't mind carrying them out. Putting it all on Donnie and Steve. Donnie does not like that, and Steve probably definitely doesn't like that. And she is making the argument, I was just following orders. Just like Mr. Lieu says. All right, we're at the end, finally. Trump's National Guard deployment could cost over $1 billion this year, CBO projects. That's from NPR. That's your money, son. You think these mass Gestapo getting the bonuses, the rental cars, all that shit, you think that's cheap? You're paying them quite well, actually. You're generous. And then their bounties that they get, their bonuses promised. with 5 years of service, something like that, 4 years. They get like 10,000 a year, something like that. All you, their food, just everything. Their lodging. They ain't paying for that. Hotels for 3,000 ICE agents. You know what that costs, son? Donnie don't care. That's your money. Dumbass. And we're just talking about the guard here. To subjugate you, you get to pay the bill for your own subjugation. $1 billion. The guard deployed this past year in all the various cities. You think that was cheap? American marks are the purest marks since the dawn of time. And I'm talking about the rubes. My God, what you have done. It's going to get worse. We're not at the end. The plan is still in place. It hasn't gone anywhere. And I expect to wake up tomorrow to more dead Americans at the hands of the Reich and the Gestapo. We got to ride this out to the end, and eventually the mark will be presented to you, and you must say no, or face the wrath of God for all eternity, and it is real. And the reason I know it's real is because of you, son. And you're Antichrist. I would really look into going the other way and not taking the mark. And let me say this. I was thinking about this earlier, and this is really fucked up. And I'm sorry I'm the kind of person that presents things like this to you, because most people can't mentally handle things like this. But it's going to be bad. So it was just something I'm pondering. My plan. I'm a single man with no children. My plan for the mark, if I can't participate in society, would be to meditate and starve. I'm fine with that. But then I thought about all you out there. I thought about a father and mother, and I talked about this in my very first video about the Mark of the Beast 10 years ago. I thought about a man or woman or both that has the responsibility of children. And I asked myself, would God ask humans to let their children starve? Would God ask a man to let his wife and children starve? I don't know, was the answer I came back with. That's a real hard thing to ask of somebody, even if you're God. Then I thought of Jesus in the desert, 40 days, no food. That's scientifically sound, too. After about the 40th day, this is how it works scientifically. If you're starving, the hunger, the pains, they're real bad at first, and then they go away. And then you can last about a month to 40 days before it all comes back and you die. The pain, the hunger, it is possible. And it's scientifically sound. that he could have survived 40 days with no food, just water, I guess. Or very little food. But that's Jesus again. An entity with no wife, no children, just him. Starving for those 40 days. Could it be, this just occurred to me, could it be the moment from the mark to the end is only 40 days or 30 days? I just can't see God asking you to let your children and your wife starve. But if you can't participate in society without the mark, what alternative to eat would there be? You probably wouldn't be allowed to use old money. Or will there be two systems? Is there some rule I don't know about? Spiritual rule. Where there has to be an alternative to the mark and the beast system. In other words, again, what is a mother and father with a couple children supposed to do? Just let their kids starve? I can't. There's something I'm not seeing. In other words, I'm prepared to die for it. But I don't have responsibility of others. How the fuck will that work? And how will people eat if you can't participate and you refuse? Is that what God expects of us? To just starve to death? I'd be willing to do it, but again, I'm not responsible for others. And this is what I talked about in my very first video, like people with children and how hard it would be for them. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not God. And I can't see the future to that degree. All I know is this. You can't take the mark. That is forbidden if you want to live. And I mean really live. Not this shit here. That's not really living. So don't take the mark, people. Be smart. Have a wonderful evening.